This is not new. It's not because something that's a direct result of the Trump administration, but the ongoing problems with USCIS in terms of the high percentage of mistakes that USCIS makes, even when it comes to filing a case. A lot of the times, cases will come back rejected for reasons that are not justifiable. So this has been ongoing for a while. It's not anything new. It's not a recent development. It's just something that immigration lawyers and clients have been dealing with for several years now, you know. So essentially, the trends that I'm continuing to see is that immigration rejects filings for supposed supposedly receiving outdated versions of forms, or supposedly that there are pages missing in the application when in fact the entire petition or application form was submitted. Another reason they like to use for returning a filing is that the wrong filing fee was submitted. Guess what? A lot of the time, it's the correct filing fee. It's just that the mailroom cannot understand their own filing fees. Like, what are the filing fees that apply to a case? Even the mailroom gets this wrong a lot of the time. Another common RFE or rejection I'm seeing is regarding the I-864 affidavit of support. That's part of an adjustment application. So the affidavit of support is a form that the sponsor or the petitioner submits, informing immigration what their annual income is. And oftentimes the I-864 is accompanied by financial documents to show what income the petitioner earned in the most recent tax year. So I can't tell you how many times I've received RFEs from USCIS claiming, oh, the affidavit of support was not filled out correctly, or you listed the wrong income amount, or the petitioner did not submit adequate evidence of their financial, status. So we can't determine whether or not their income is sufficient to meet the federal poverty guidelines. And every single RFE I received on this issue turns out that we submitted everything correctly, but it's just that the mailroom or whoever is the officer reviewing the case either overlooked evidence or they don't even understand how to review the evidence and the form correctly. So, what this basically does is it just delays the processing of a case. It causes additional unnecessary work. It adds to the level of stress and anxiety that a lot of lawyers and clients are already going through. And, it ends up causing a lot of more work for USCIS as well. There's clearly some training issue. It's clear that whoever is reviewing these forms are not going through them carefully. And think of all of the waste in resources, right? The mailing back of applications and then having to send everything back to immigration, right? Not hearing for weeks on end. By the way, if immigration sends back or rejects a filing, you're not going to get it back anytime soon. You're waiting in suspense for weeks, in some cases, months, right? So that's just such a bad feeling, is to like file something, you don't hear anything in 3 months, and then you see a big package in the mail back from USCIS. You know what that means is that they sent it back. And when they send it back, it's not in the same order that you mailed it off to, right? When you get it back, the whole filing is out of order. There are random pieces of paper stapled to each other for no apparent reason. It's like they threw all these papers up in the air and then just decided to shove them back into a mailer and send it back to you. that is like one of the most dreaded things to see immigration doing, and it's happening a lot, you know. Um, my take is that the mailroom just doesn't care, right? Like, what's it to them to just send back a filing that they don't really understand, or they're too sloppy or lazy to bother to go through and read the cover letter and see, oh, okay, I see this is what is submitted and this is why it was submitted. Very rarely does immigration even look at the table of contents or the cover letter, in my experience. Um, so yeah, it's an ongoing frustration. And I don't think USCIS has any plans to address this. I'm sure that tons of people have complained about it, but they don't really have an incentive to correct this at all. Um, so yeah, to have to worry on top of all of the things that are happening on a daily basis on the immigration front, to have to worry that, you might miss a critical deadline. Like, for example, if you are currently on a type of visa or immigration status that is expiring soon, and you need to file, whether it's an extension petition or another application, but you need to get that timely filed before your current status expires. Imagine how worrisome it is to, not know if immigration is going to even accept the application, right? If they reject it, and let's say you or your client's status has by then expired, it creates a great deal of anxiety, right? To then all of a sudden have to rush and refile it and then argue to immigration that this should be considered a timely filing because when it was previously filed, it should have been accepted by immigration. It just seems that a lot of things are an uphill battle now with immigration. And we are not even 1 month into the administration. So I guess my advice to all of my clients is, um, this is a marathon, right? We are just at the start of the administration. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 4 years?